Hello Nordangia students, and welcome to tutorial 4 in programming using Scratch. In this tutorial you're going to look at variables, input and output, and we're going to be exploring the use of variables when programming. So let's have a look at Scratch, and let's have a look at 3 different ways of using our variables, one of which might be for asking for our name in a game. So when you start a game, it will ask you for your name and it will feed that back to you. So we're going to go to the variable icon here. We're going to go variable and we're going to make a new variable, and let's call that name. We'll say for all sprites because then it can be global throughout everything. And we have this new one called name. We can then set our variable name to a certain thing, or we can then change it to a value or show it or hide. So I'm going to go to events and say when the flag is clicked, and I'm going to ask what's your name, and it's going to wait. So it's going to ask the question, what's your name, and it will wait. We then need the answer one, which will be here. And I then want it to set the variable name, so the variable called name, to the answer. And then I would like it to feed back the contents of that variable to the user. So I want it to say, hello, wait 2 seconds, and then hello again, but I will change this to, and I'll drag this variable, the actual variable block, into here. So if I say play, it'll ask me my name. So I say my name, press enter, it says hello, Anthony. If I play again, and I say Henry, enter, hello, Henry. So a variable is something that will change. Okay, it changes the contents based on whatever value has been assigned. So that's one way I can ask for the answer to something, and then it will store the answer as a variable and it will feed back to the user. Another one might be to count, for example. So I might have a variable called count, and let's just hide the name variable like there. So it's disappeared. So I tick this box and it will disappear. And I can then say, go to the control part or the control here. And I can say repeat until the variable count is greater than 10. Okay, so repeat until the variable count is greater. So I can go to operators. I can say I can use a comparative operation here, and I can say when the count is greater than, and I'll say 11, then it will stop. So it'll repeat until this, and I'll say I want it to say count. Say count 1 second. I also need to set this. So I need to set the variable at the beginning. So I need to say set count to 0. I want to repeat until it gets greater than 11. Actually, I might say greater than 10 because that means it'll stop at 10. It'll say the count, and then it will change it by 1 each time. So it'll add 1 each time. So first it will say 0, then it will add 1, then 1, then add another, then it will keep going up. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So we've got now a counting program, like so. We can also compare. So this is we could compare maybe answers. Maybe we're doing, we want to have the computer guess a color, and we want the user to be asked a color and see if they're correct. So over here, we're going to have two variables perhaps. We'll say comp guess, and we'll say user guess. And so we've got two variables. I will untick count. I've got comp guess and user guess. And I'll set comp guess to blue or in lowercase, like so. I'm going to ask the user, I'm going to say ask the user, guess the color. And wait, and this time I've got the answer. So I'll get my variable this time, and I will set the user guess to the answer. And this time I will go to control, and I'll use if and else. And if, using the operators, again I'll say equals. If here we go, equals comp guess is equals to user guess, then say you have guessed correctly, and if not, oops, we're going to add comments there, duplicates, you have not guessed correctly. So this time, if I press play, I can put red, you have not guessed correctly. I can do the same, blue, you have guessed correctly. So now for your challenge, and you've already made a bird fly around the screen eating apples. Now I want you to add a score, a variable score that goes up each time an apple is eaten. So if I just go to the example so I can show you, and if I press play, all of them appear, and this time every time the bird eats the apple, the score will go up. And if I reset it, if I stop and play again, the score resets back to 0. Thank you very much for watching, Nordanglish students, and I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.